Hi, I'm Dave Nicholas, and I'm a software developer at Tesco. But I also have another important role that I do at Tesco. I'm a... Ooh, what is going on here? Okay. Unexpected. Okay. I'm also a lost property fashion model. So this is a pretty good job to do because I help lost property go back to its owner and also increases my fashion portfolio. And I'm going to talk about some of the refactory work that we've been doing with our class components into functional ones. Typical class components have a render method, some event handlers, some business logic, state, things like this. Interesting things to note, the business logic, it has concerns of props and state and things outside of its method and outside of its scope, which make this very difficult for testing. Tests typically look like this. You have to remount the component, keep passing in props, doing state interactions, doing DOM interactions, clicking buttons just to observe side effects. And to keep testing the business logic, you have to keep remounting the component. Now, this same component refactored in a functional way, you take out the presentational component and you make this separate, easy to test. And you also do the same with the business logic. You make it very pure. You make it very deterministic to test. And a lot of people will be using hooks. This example doesn't use the kind of container component kind of strategy that most people use when doing hooks. This is a higher order component where we take in a component and return it. The reason why we do this is to use composition. Composition is a fancy way of saying taking the result of one method and then pass it in as an argument to the next method. And most of you have probably used a compose from Redux or Apollo client, but basically this is all they are under the hood. They're literally just a reduce that just keeps currying up a function within each other. And coming soon in JavaScript is the pipeline operator, which will have composition native in JavaScript. Now, when you make a functional component, you just using composition, you'll have something like this, where you have a presentational component. We've now got all our logic, and maybe something like Redux. And this makes it easy if we need to change out for our Redux for like a GraphQL library, very easy. And if we get a business requirement to add some additional functionality, we don't have to tinker with any of the other functions. We can just add another higher order component. And using this strategy makes it much easier to change than a class component. Suppose we get a business requirement for an A/B test where we need another presentational component and they want to do some analytics testing on every single user interaction. We can do this quite easily by just adding another higher order component to curry up any methods passed in and just create another presentational component and just export a new component. So very easy to test. And we found this has made our components easier to test, easier to reuse, and easier to maintain. And we're also hiring, so if anyone's interested in working for Tesco, then we're at booth 12. And also, as we're at a conference, and everyone's got social media, and everyone wants to raise their social profile by telling everyone where they are and what a great time they're having, but it's very difficult to come up with something very snazzy to say, so I've prepared this tweet. If anyone would like to just use this. But yeah, well, no, all good.